So this is the second video on my reply to Pat Manzi on Manzi. I'm sorry, I hope I haven't pronounced your name wrong. On why the Romans went Christian. Reason number 2. All are equal in the eyes of the Lord, you say. So as we know, Rome was an intensely hierarchical society with a stark difference between rich and poor. Rich and poor often living in very close proximity to each other. So while you're a plebeian and you can see your patrician neighbour getting carried around on a big thing by his slaves, being fed grapes, meanwhile you're sort of busting and grinding your way through Roman society. Then we start to see the outcasts of Roman society, attracted by this promise of equality, overwhelmingly start to convert to Christianity. That's in the cities. It would take a lot longer for people in, like, the furthest parts of the Roman Empire out in the countryside to convert to Christianity and drop paganism. Paganism, actually just the Latin word for people who live in the countryside. Culches, as you say where I'm from. So if you're in the Roman elite and you're seeing all of the working classes convert to Christianity and you're going, fuck, you can't kill all of them now by this point. So now you're thinking, well, what is it we can do now? And that brings us on to part 3, Realpolitik. So the ship has sailed on Christianity's influence. It's overwhelmingly becoming one of the more dominant religions in the empire. And if you're in the elite, the only way for the Roman state to sort of survive this and keep its influence is if the Roman Empire becomes Christian. So then we see this process begin of the Roman state being the biggest opponent to Christianity to being the authority on Christian doctrine. The process started, as we know, by Constantine I. So he begins that process by legalizing Christianity. He convenes various sort of like organizations to hammer out Christian doctrine. And if the state has a hand in this decision on what makes it into the Bible, then the Roman state can mold Christianity into something that's no longer a threat to the Roman state. And then by this point, some of the elite are starting to see, what's in it for them in Christianity. I bet Constantine thought to himself, forgiveness, you say? Will Jesus forgive me for killing my wife and son? Which might also be the reason that when he first legalized it, he legalized it on the condition that Christians prayed for him. And then the process begun by Constantine is completed in 380 CE for the Edict of Theodosia, making Christianity the official state religion of the Roman Empire. Now, as I say, I'm just some idiot who's read 2 books and watched many YouTube videos on this, so if you've had any comments to add, or if anyone else has any, if there's any inaccuracies that any have noticed, please feel welcome to comment.